Today we are going to talk about business-to-business marketing. Here I will explain the concept of business-to-business (B2B) marketing and highlight the differences between B2B and business-to-consumer (B2C) transactions. B2B marketing refers to the process of buying and selling goods or services that are intended for use in the production of other goods and services. In B2B transactions, the buying organization typically uses the purchased goods or services in their own production process or resells them to wholesalers and retailers. The key distinction between B2B and B2C transactions lies in the ultimate user of the product or service. In B2B transactions, the buying and selling process tends to be more complex compared to B2C transactions. It involves multiple members from both the buying organization, such as buyers, marketing teams, and product developers, as well as the selling organization, including sellers and R&D support teams. On the other hand, B2C transactions typically involve a simpler exchange between a retailer and an individual consumer. Also, we need to mention the concept of derived demand in B2B sales. Derived demand refers to the relationship between consumers' demand for a company's output and the company's need to purchase the necessary inputs to produce that output. For example, if there is an increased demand for staplers in the B2C market, the company that produces staplers will need to purchase more metal from its supplier to manufacture additional staplers. This demonstrates how B2B demand can be derived from B2C sales within the same supply chain. Resellers. In B2B marketing, the buying and selling of goods or services often involve a chain of transactions that includes manufacturers selling to wholesalers, who then sell products to retailers. The retailers, in turn, sell the products to the ultimate consumer in a B2C transaction. B2B transactions are not limited to manufacturers and wholesalers. Service firms, such as UPS, also engage in B2B marketing by offering their services to other businesses rather than directly to individual consumers. UPS, for example, provides package delivery and supply chain management services to other businesses as part of their B2B marketing activities. The concept of resellers is also important in B2B marketing. Resellers are intermediaries in the marketing process who purchase manufactured products and then resell them without significantly altering their form. Wholesalers and distributors, for instance, may buy products from companies like Xerox and sell them to retailers in a B2B transaction. The retailers, in turn, resell the Xerox products to the ultimate consumer in a B2C transaction. Overall, B2B marketing involves a complex network of transactions and relationships between manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, service firms, and resellers, all working together to deliver goods and services to the end consumer. Also, we have institutions such as hospitals, educational institutions, and religious organizations. These institutions have specific purchasing needs and requirements. Here are some examples of purchases commonly made by these institutions. Textbooks. Educational institutions, such as schools and universities, regularly purchase textbooks for their students and educational programs. Capital construction. Institutions, particularly hospitals and educational institutions, often engage in capital construction projects to expand or improve their facilities. This includes constructing new buildings, renovating existing ones, or adding infrastructure. Equipment. Hospitals, educational institutions, and religious organizations may need to purchase various types of equipment. For example, Hospitals may need medical equipment and instruments. Educational institutions may require laboratory equipment or computer systems, and religious organizations may need audio-visual equipment for their services. Supplies. Institutions require a wide range of supplies to support their operations. This can include office supplies, classroom materials, medical supplies for hospitals, or religious items for religious organizations. Food. Hospitals and educational institutions often have dining facilities or cafeterias that provide meals to patients, students, and staff. They need to purchase food supplies to cater to their dietary requirements. Janitorial services. Institutions typically require janitorial services to maintain cleanliness and hygiene. This can involve hiring cleaning companies or purchasing cleaning supplies for in-house janitorial staff. Government. In most countries, the central government stands as one of the largest purchasers of goods and services. For instance, the U.S. federal government annually allocates nearly $4 trillion to procure goods and services. When factoring in the expenditures of state and local governments, these numbers escalate to staggering proportions. As an illustration, the Department of Defense was designated to receive $561 billion in fiscal year 2016, with $14 billion earmarked specifically for collaboration with cybersecurity firms. These firms are expected to provide services to assist the U.S. government in safeguarding against cyberterrorism attacks. In manufacturers and service providers, you need to understand the different types of transactions that occur in the business-to-business (B2B) and business-to-consumer (B2C) contexts. When a company purchases raw materials to produce its products, it is considered a B2B purchase. This transaction involves the buying company acquiring the necessary inputs for their production process. The purchased raw materials are not meant for direct consumption by the buying company, but rather for use in creating their own goods or services. Once the company has manufactured its products, selling them to a retailer constitutes another B2B purchase. In this case, the selling company engages in a transaction with the retailer, offering their products for resale. The retailer acts as an intermediary, purchasing the products in bulk and subsequently selling them to the end consumer. Finally, when the retailer sells the product to the end consumer, it is considered a B2C purchase. This transaction represents the final stage in the supply chain, where the end consumer acquires the product for their personal use or consumption. Overall, the statement highlights the flow of goods from the initial B2B purchase of raw materials to the subsequent B2B purchase by the retailer, and finally, the B2C purchase made by the end consumer. It illustrates the different stages and participants involved in the process of bringing a product from its creation to its ultimate consumption. Okay, as you can see, this diagram outlines the B2B buying process, starting with need recognition, then product specification, followed by developing a request for proposal, RFP. Subsequently, there is proposal analysis and vendor selection, followed by order specification, and finally, vendor negotiation. We will discuss each of these stages in the upcoming slides. Stage 1. Need recognition. The B2C and B2B processes share similarities, but also have distinct differences. Both processes begin with need recognition, where the buyer identifies a need that requires fulfillment. However, the information search and alternative evaluation stages differ in their formality and structure. In the B2B process, the information search and evaluation steps tend to be more formal and structured. B2B buyers often specify their needs in writing and request formal proposals from potential suppliers. This process involves a more extensive and rigorous evaluation of different alternatives to ensure they meet the organizational requirements and objectives. In contrast, B2C buying decisions are typically made by individuals or families and do not require formal proposals. Consumers can often make purchasing decisions with less formality and may rely on personal preferences or recommendations from friends and family. For example, when an individual wants to buy a tablet computer, they can simply visit a store or browse online, conduct some preliminary research on different options, such as iPads versus competitors, and make a purchase decision relatively quickly. In the B2B context, the process can involve more complex and lengthy decision-making. For instance, when a university needs to provide computers for students to access textbooks or take exams, the university administration would go through a more formal evaluation process. They may solicit proposals from computer suppliers, assess their compatibility with existing systems, consider long-term support and maintenance requirements, and negotiate terms and pricing. It's important to note that sellers in the B2B context actively work to prompt need recognition among buying organizations. They may engage in targeted marketing efforts and communication to create awareness of their products or services and highlight how they can fulfill organizational needs. This is particularly relevant in the growing realm of direct-to-consumer (DTC) companies, where advertising agencies, networks, and these DTC companies establish important B2B relationships. Stage 2. Product specification. After recognizing the need and exploring various alternative solutions, a company or organization, such as a university in the case of needing laptop computers, would typically create a list of potential specifications. These specifications outline the desired features and requirements that vendors should consider when developing their proposals. In the example of the university would write specifications for the laptops they require. This could include criteria such as the desired screen size, battery life, processor speed, connectivity options such as Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and the expected delivery date. These specifications serve as guidelines for potential vendors, helping them understand the specific requirements and expectations of the university. Vendors would then use these potential specifications as a basis for developing their proposals. They would consider the outlined criteria and design their offerings accordingly. By incorporating the specified features and requirements, vendors can tailor their proposals to align with the university's needs. The use of specifications allows for a more structured and focused evaluation process. It helps the university compare different proposals on an equal basis, as each vendor's offering is assessed against the same set of criteria. The specifications also ensure that vendors have a clear understanding of what the university is seeking, helping them provide more accurate and relevant proposals. Overall, the development of potential specifications is a crucial step in the B2B purchasing process. It enables the buying organization to communicate its requirements to potential vendors effectively and helps vendors in crafting proposals that address those specific needs. This ultimately facilitates a more efficient and informed decision-making process for the company or organization seeking to make a purchase. Stage 3. Process request for proposal. The request for proposals, RFP is indeed a common process used by organizations to invite vendors or suppliers to submit bids for providing the required components or fulfilling specified specifications. The RFP serves as a formal document that outlines the organization's needs and expectations, and it is typically shared with potential vendors through various channels. One way the purchasing company can share its RFP is by posting it on its own website. By making the RFP available on their website, the company allows interested vendors to access the document directly and submit their proposals accordingly. Alternatively, the purchasing company may utilize B2B web portals, which are specialized websites designed to connect businesses and facilitate transactions. These portals serve as a centralized platform where companies can post their RFPs and vendors can browse and submit their proposals in response. B2B web portals provide a convenient way for companies to attract a broader range of potential vendors and suppliers who actively seek opportunities in specific industries or markets. In some cases, particularly for smaller companies that may not have the same level of visibility or reach as larger organizations, turning to a web portal can be beneficial. These portals act as major starting points for users when they connect to the web, providing access to a wide range of information and opportunities. By utilizing a web portal, smaller companies can increase their chances of attracting attention and receiving bids from potential vendors who may not have otherwise come across their RFP. It's worth noting that web portals are not limited to the B2B context. They can also serve as gateways for accessing various types of information, such as emails, online forums, search engines, and more. Their purpose is to aggregate information from diverse sources and present it in a unified and easily accessible manner. For example, government contracts often have dedicated websites, such as the Contracts Opportunities site, where firms interested in bidding on government contracts can find relevant information. These sites provide details about the products or services being sought, allowing potential suppliers to review the requirements and submit their proposals accordingly. Step 4. Proposal analysis, vendor negotiation, and selection. Firms employ various strategies for vendor selection. While some companies prioritize choosing the lowest price, others consider more complex selection criteria beyond just cost. The government, in particular, utilizes preferred contractor programs to provide increased opportunities for small and minority-owned firms. Let's explore these strategies in more detail. Lowest price strategy. Some firms place utmost importance on selecting vendors based on the lowest price offered. This strategy aims to minimize costs and maximize savings. However, it's important to note that solely focusing on the lowest price may not always guarantee the best value or quality. Comprehensive selection criteria. Other businesses adopt more elaborate selection criteria beyond just price. These criteria may involve evaluating factors such as vendor reputation, past performance, product quality, reliability, customer service, delivery capabilities, and long-term partnership potential. By considering a broader range of criteria, companies strive to make more informed decisions that align with their specific needs and goals. Preferred contractor programs. The government implements preferred contractor programs to provide increased opportunities for small and minority-owned firms. These programs aim to promote diversity and inclusion in government contracting by offering special considerations, incentives, or set-aside contracts for eligible businesses. The objective is to foster a more equitable marketplace and provide opportunities for historically underrepresented groups. Existing relationship-based selection. Many firms prefer to narrow down their vendor selection process to a few suppliers with whom they have established relationships. These existing relationships may be based on previous successful collaborations, trust, reliability, or shared values. Engaging in discussions with these preferred suppliers allows companies to negotiate key terms related to price, quality, delivery, and other specific requirements. Once companies receive offers from potential vendors, they typically evaluate these offers based on a combination of price and quality. This evaluation process involves comparing and analyzing the proposed prices, assessing the quality of the products or services offered, and considering other relevant factors. Negotiations may also take place with different suppliers to obtain the best possible offer in terms of price, quality, and other essential terms. Step 5. Order specification. In the fifth stage of the B2B buying process, the firm proceeds to place its order with its preferred supplier or suppliers. This stage involves finalizing the purchase agreement and initiating the procurement process. Here's an overview of this stage. Placing the order. The firm prepares and submits an order to the chosen supplier. The order includes a detailed description of the goods or services being purchased, along with specific quantities, prices, delivery dates, and any other relevant terms and conditions. The order serves as an official document that outlines the firm's requirements and expectations. Order details. The order provides a comprehensive description of the requested goods or services. It specifies the exact specifications, quantities, sizes, or any other specific requirements. Additionally, the order includes agreed-upon prices for the items, which may be based on negotiated terms or predetermined rates. Delivery dates. The order also includes delivery dates or timelines, indicating when the firm expects to receive the goods or services. The specified delivery dates are crucial for ensuring that the supplier understands the firm's timeline and can plan accordingly. Penalties for non-compliance. In some cases, the order may include penalties for non-compliance or failure to meet the specified terms. These penalties serve as a safeguard for the firm, ensuring that the supplier is incentivized to fulfill the order as agreed upon. Penalties could involve financial consequences or potential legal actions in case of non-compliance. Order acknowledgement. Upon receiving the order, the supplier sends an acknowledgement to the firm. This acknowledgement serves as confirmation that the order has been received and is being processed. It also reaffirms the supplier's commitment to fulfill the order and meet the specified terms and conditions. Order fulfillment. The supplier proceeds to fulfill the order by preparing and delivering the requested goods or providing the specified services. This involves activities such as production, packaging, shipping, and any necessary quality control processes. Throughout this stage, effective communication between the firm and the supplier is essential. Clear and accurate order documentation helps to minimize misunderstandings and ensures that both parties are aligned regarding the details of the purchase. By placing the order and receiving an acknowledgement from the supplier, the firm establishes a formal agreement and initiates the fulfillment of its procurement needs. The supplier's responsibility is to meet the specified requirements and deliver the goods or services by the agreed-upon date. It's important to note that the exact process may vary depending on the specific industry, company, and supplier relationship. However, the overall objective remains the same: to initiate the fulfillment of the firm's purchasing requirements based on the agreed upon terms and conditions. Stage 6. Vendor performance assessment using metrics. Vendor analysis is an important part of the B2B buying process, where the buying team evaluates the performance of vendors to make informed decisions about future purchases. This analysis is generally more formal and objective compared to the consumer buying process. Here's how the vendor analysis process is typically conducted. 1. List of issues. The buying team develops a list of issues or factors that they consider important in evaluating the vendor. These issues could include aspects such as product quality, pricing, delivery reliability, customer service, vendor reputation, financial stability, and compliance with regulations, among others. 2. Importance score. The buying team assigns an importance score to each issue to determine its relative significance. The importance score reflects how crucial the team considers each issue in the evaluation process. Higher scores indicate greater importance, while lower scores indicate lesser significance. It is essential that the total importance scores assigned to all issues add up to a predefined value to maintain consistency and ensure that the evaluation is properly weighted. 3. Vendor performance score. The buying team assesses how well each vendor performs on each issue. They assign numerical ratings or scores to reflect their judgment of the vendor's performance on a particular issue. This evaluation is typically based on objective criteria, data, observations, and feedback from various stakeholders involved in the buying process. 4. Overall performance calculation. To determine the overall performance of the vendor, the buying team combines the importance scores and the vendor's performance scores. This is done by multiplying the importance score of each issue by the corresponding vendor performance score and summing up these weighted scores for all issues. The resulting value provides an overall performance rating for the vendor. By conducting this vendor analysis, the buying team can objectively compare and evaluate different vendors based on their performance on critical issues. This analysis helps in making informed decisions about future purchases, supplier selection, and establishing long-term relationships with vendors who consistently demonstrate strong performance across the evaluated factors. It's important to note that the specific issues, importance scores, and performance evaluation criteria may vary depending on the industry, company, and specific purchasing requirements. The vendor analysis process is tailored to meet the unique needs and priorities of each organization. Okay. This graphical represents the concept of a buying center, which refers to a group of individuals within an organization who are involved in the buying decision process. Each role in the buying center has distinct responsibilities and influences that shape the purchasing process. Here's a brief description of each role. Initiator. The initiator is the person who recognizes or identifies a need within the organization. They may suggest or propose the idea of making a purchase to address that need. Initiators can be individuals at any level within the organization. Influencer. Influencers are individuals who have the power to shape or influence the buying decision. They may not have the final authority to make the decision, but their opinions and expertise carry weight and can sway others in the buying center. Influencers can include managers, department heads, technical experts, or other stakeholders with relevant knowledge or expertise. Decider. The decider is the individual who ultimately makes the final purchasing decision. They have the authority and responsibility to choose the vendor, negotiate terms, and approve the purchase. The decider considers inputs from other members of the buying center, but holds the ultimate decision-making power. Buyer. The buyer is the person or team responsible for executing or processing the purchase. They handle the transactional aspects of the buying process, such as obtaining quotes, issuing purchase orders, managing contracts, and coordinating with the chosen vendor. The buyer ensures that the purchasing process is carried out efficiently and in compliance with organizational policies and procedures. Users are the individuals or departments within the organization who will utilize or work with the purchased product or service. Their input and feedback regarding the usability, functionality, and performance of the offering are crucial in the decision-making process. Understanding user requirements and preferences is essential to ensure the purchased solution meets their needs effectively. Last one is gatekeeper. Gatekeepers control the flow of information within the buying center. They may have access to relevant data, resources, or contacts and act as a filter for information that is shared with other members. Gatekeepers can control the access of sales representatives or vendors to decision makers and influence the information that reaches the rest of the buying center. By recognizing and understanding the roles and responsibilities of each member in the buying center, organizations can effectively manage and navigate the complex dynamics of the buying decision process, engaging with the right individuals, addressing their specific needs and concerns, and building relationships with key stakeholders are crucial in achieving successful B2B sales and satisfying customer requirements.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.